Nene Leakes, you Illuminati witch. You done cursed Porsha Williams. You going straight to hell. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. So Porsha was on Dish Nation and recently had some very choice words for your girl, Nene Leakes. Now, if you want to see the actual video, all you got to do is click the link below in the description box. It'll take you to my blog. It's only a 44-second video, but I'm going to give you some cliff notes here of what the beautiful Porsha Williams had to say about Nene Leakes. Pretty much, if you remember at the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 8 reunion show, Nene Leakes called out Porsha for acting ratchet and living a dangerous lifestyle. She also expressed her concern previously on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, who also hosted the reunion for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, when Nene called out Porsha, Portia's reply was, "But didn't you choke somebody, Nene?" Which did not sit well with Nene. And now Porsha is basically speaking out. And in this Dish Nation video, Porsha says that she deals with energy. So are you trying to say you're a witch, Porsha? What do you mean you deal with energy? What does this energy speak? Are you trying to say you're an empath? I really would love for her to elaborate when she says that she deals with energy. She deals with energy. She said that Nene Leakes was a so-called friend who attempted to cast curses against her and her career. She goes on to mention her two successful businesses, the fact that she was cast on the Celebrity Apprentice and her job on Dish Nation. It basically saying that she's still standing despite Nene's failed attempt to curse her and basically take money out of her pocket. She feels as if your girl Nene Leakes basically spat in her face and wants to see her fail, in so many words. So the good thing about it is Nene had something to say on Instagram about it. She said, "You got to be around people who aren't afraid to tell you you're fucking up," with a praying hands emoji, or praise hands emoji rather, and an okay hand symbol. She said, "Real friends tell you real shit." Now, here's the deal, Nene. I totally agree. If Porsha can't accept constructive criticism, like what Nene dished out, unless something was edited out that we did not see, I have no problem with what Nene had to say to her, because Porsha has been fighting like as if that's just what she does. Now, I do feel that she was provoked in the Kenya situation. I do feel as if Cynthia Bailey started her situation with her as well. And as far as the situation with Jamie is concerned, when she beat the girl down to the ground and then into the ground like the groundhog, I really can't make any excuses for that. I used to be Team Porsha. I really was really rooting for her. But now the level of ridiculousness has reached the point of no return. I mean, now she's basically calling out somebody who wants to help her. That lets me know that she does not want to be helped. That lets me know that she looks at help as being something that's hindering her, when the only thing that Nene wants to see was growth. I think that Nene was a real friend for speaking up. I think if she was really a fake friend, she would have just shut her mouth and let you do whatever the hell you wanted to do. I think you should have taken her advice, and I think you should have been more respectful towards her. I really don't know how else to word it. I've just been really disappointed with Porsha's really bad behavior since she left Cordell. I don't think people really realize it, but when she was with Cordell, this is what I said. I said, Porsha is a sweet girl who's around very bad women. I said that their bad qualities were going to rub off on her. I used to do reviews of the season 6. If you type in Meat Magazine review the Real Meat Magazine, The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 6 review, recap, opinion, you can see the videos that I made. Meat Magazine, The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 6 review, recap, opinion, because then it'll definitely pop up if you type it in like that. But basically what I was saying was, man, she seems like a really good girl overall, and the type of people that she's around are going to corrupt her. This is what I was saying, it was probably a couple years ago, because they were saying things like, in so many words, that Porsha needs to not listen to her husband and whatnot, and he's supposed to be, somebody who's supposed to help guide her throughout life. If you're married, when you're in a partnership with somebody, you're supposed to watch each other's backs and make sure you give each other good advice and support each other. And the women were like, look, we want to go out to a club. I think it was maybe even a strip club. And they were like, if you don't want to go out to the strip club with us being a married woman, then your husband must be controlling you. And I was like, what type of married women go to a club or to a strip club? Obviously the type that are basically doomed for divorce. That's something for a worldly woman who's single to do. That's nothing that any respectable married woman would do. Why would you want to go to a place with debauchery around you, especially with all these people claiming to believe in Jesus and whatnot, praying to white Jesus? Obviously, you can't believe in God if this is how you're living your life. But when you're fighting on reality TV, you don't believe in God either. You know, it's just the truth. It's a fact. I know truth bothers a lot of people, but it is what it is. But these women were basically putting their insecurities and their bad behaviors all on her and putting their negative energy all upon her. And I just said, man, I felt as if she was being cursed by their presence when she was on the show. You know, because like I had said before previously, these women are negative energy and whatnot. So I knew that it was going to screw up one way or another. And then we saw the downfall of Porsha with the thing that happened with Kenya. She ended up going to jail for that, like for, I don't know if it was a couple hours or whatever. Then there was the thing that happened with her where she was pulled over. She went to jail again. Slayed both of her mugshots though. She's a very beautiful woman. I mean, she has the best mugshots of all time. But of course, with me thinking that she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen ever, of course I'm going to say that. But the whole point is this though. Porsha decided to be around bad people for a check. She should have stayed with her husband. She should have listened to what he said and been the best wife that she could have been. But she's a young, very beautiful woman. And I honestly think that what she really thought was, I can do better. I can, get with a guy who maybe is better looking and has even more money than what Cordell has. That's that happens a lot. I'm not saying that that's definitely what happened. It's just that women a lot of times hold out for the highest bidder as opposed to who's the most compatible, which is what a relationship should be based upon. It's compatibility, not bank accounts, not looks. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you need to go out there and get with a homeless man, because I know how extreme some lying women are. Some women who are in denial, some women who have the devil all up in them and will say, well, what you're saying is that a woman should get with a homeless man. They like to use these extreme examples. So I'm not saying a woman should be with a homeless man. I'm not saying that a woman should be with the man she finds to be repulsive. Okay? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that those should not be the number one and the number two qualities that you look for in a man. His status or wealth and his physical appearance. There's other way more important things to worry about, such as whether or not he's going to be a good father to your future children, whether or not he has a sound mind, whether or not you guys are compatible, whether or not you guys see eye to eye on political issues, different things like that can affect things going forward, to make sure that basically you guys are on the same page in life in general. A lot of women don't look at things like that. They'll say things like, well, I want a man to be secure. And by secure, they mean have money. And it's like, yeah, he may be financially secure, but is he mentally and emotionally secure? And do you know that if a man cries, that does not mean he's emotionally insecure? It's okay for a man to cry. Do you know that it doesn't make a man less of a man if he makes more money, rather less money than you do? Things like that. And that's not mirroring down to marry a man or to be with a man who has less money than you do. It just means that maybe you're focusing on more important things. You have to prioritize. And a lot of times these women are prioritizing the wrong way. And when you put your own, you got to understand something. These women we're talking about going to clubs and stuff like that, as married women, some of them are married. You got to think about it like this. Why would you want to go to a place where you're going to be hit on by other men? You're going to go get yourself all dressed up and whatnot, and then go out and other men are basically going to approach you all night long. And the fact that you're famous too, that they're going to approach you. So basically, you're setting yourself up for potential adultery. It's just a recipe for disaster. It doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever for a married woman to be at a bar or a club. There's plenty of other places, plenty of other environments you can go to and spend time with, your female friends. You ever notice that these women don't say things like, hey, let's go to a museum? They're like, hey, let's go to a club. You know what they're there for? They're there for male attention, whether they admit it or not. That's why so many married women are taking all these nasty selfies and posting them on Instagram, trying to get attention from everybody, telling them how beautiful and sexy they are and how they want to screw them in your My Woman Crush Wednesday and all this other stuff. And it's like, look, if you marry, you shouldn't be worried about that. You should be worried about the attention of your husband. But I digress. What do I know? I never been married before anyway. And I just had My Woman Crush Wednesday posted up on April 6th of 2016. And of course, it was Tommy for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 5. And in the past, I made Porsha My Woman Crush Wednesday. Why? Because they're bad as hell. Fine ass women. So I'm not saying that it's not okay to have a crush or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that if somebody's married, they shouldn't aspire or perspire to be anybody's crush other than your spouse. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're in the relationship, you should be looking to be your spouse's desire, basically. That's what I mean. That's the way I mean it. But this is all my opinion. Do you think that Nene Leakes cursed Porsha on some old write your name on a potato and bury it type shit? Do you think that Nene's an Illuminati witch? Do you think that Porsha is really good with energies? Do you think that she's not good with energies at all because she's around a bunch of witches and what the hell? My microphone cut off. See, that's that witchcraft. Fuck you, Nene Leakes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But my mic really did cut off though. But seriously though, all jokes aside, do you think that she doesn't know that she's around a bunch of witches, so therefore she can't be, good with energy? I happen to be somebody who actually is good with energy. And Porsha has a whole bunch of negative energy around her. And a lot of it is inside of her. She is angry in the inside, which is funny because she's always smiling. But a lot of times, people who smile a lot have a lot of internalized anger. And I think that the reason why Porsha is upset in the inside is because she's too goddamn superficial. I think she needs some depth in her life. I don't think she's digging deep enough, doing enough self-reflection. And I think what she needs to do is have a nice long talk, possibly a vacation with just her and her sister, Lauren Williams. Because I think that young lady right there could teach her a few things about life. Even though she's the quote unquote little sister. But I think my girl Lauren might be able to set her ass straight and get her on the right path. I think you need to listen to her more often instead of those witches that you do that TV show with, sis. Just my opinion. Anyways, no shade to Porsha. No shade to anybody. I was just expressing myself. Excuse me if I came across harsh, but it's a serious situation. I fear for her safety. Sooner or later, they're going to start putting UFC fighting chicks on these shows. And these chicks who like to fight all the time are going to start getting their asses whooped. And you're going to see chicks walk around with black eyes and whatnot, trying to cover it up with makeup and sunglasses. And people are going to think that their boyfriend did it. And it's going to be the chick that they were on the TV show with. But anyways, my whole point is this, though. I don't want to hear that Porsha ended up effed up out there, whether by a woman on the show or anybody in general. The next time I hear Porsha's name, I want to hear something great being attached to it. I'm very happy for her success in the world. I always say that I support women in their business ventures and whatnot. And I think that more women should own businesses. I don't think there's enough women who have businesses. I'm so happy when I see these female entrepreneurs doing their thing and whatnot and being successful. It warms my heart to see that. But anyway, much success to you, Porsha. Hopefully you get it together. And please holler at your sister. I'm pretty sure she can show you the way. She has great energy around her. But this is all my opinion. Let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com. Follow me on Twitter at Meat Magazine. For the record, those women that are on the show, they're going to tell you what's good for them as opposed to what's good for you. They're trying to make good TV. They're trying to make their money, and they're trying to be entertained by the women around them. Therefore, women often give each other bad advice, impractical advice, such as going back on the word of your husband, etc., because it behooves them to tell you something that they know is false. Anyway, I digress. That's just my opinion. Meat Magazine.